Hello, Flosstube. Surprise, surprise. My name is Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches. I was here last week. I usually do my updates on Saturday, and last Saturday, I said that I was going on a Bible study retreat this weekend, and that I was going to try to film on Friday, and if not, then I would wait. But I decided to. We went, over the weekend and came back Sunday, and so I thought I would go ahead and film because I do have a few things to show, and I thought I would go ahead and do it tonight. It is Sunday the 22nd, Sunday evening the 22nd, and this is my Flosstube update number 83, and it's about cross stitch. So if you're not here to talk about cross stitch, go somewhere else. No, I'm just kidding. So I did spin my decision roulette wheel a couple of times. There's a cat doing something very naughty. Puck, thank you. I did spin my decision roulette wheel for my Christmas projects that I'm working on. I spun it a couple times, and so a couple of things. I was kind of wanting to work on my Blackwork angels. I think I mentioned that last week, and so when I spun my wheel, Blackwork angels came up. So so I went ahead and worked on them a bit, and I am working on this one right here, where the angel is playing a harp. And last time I had just barely gotten a little bit done I think on her dress or whatever. But so right now this is where I am. I've done all of it except for the gold parts. The back of her dress right here, her gown, is all gold. And then her harp here is all in gold. And I think what I'm going to do, because the strings of the harp are like long stitches, instead of back stitches, they're just long lines of the strands of the harp. So I think what I might do, and I'm just going to experiment with it a little bit, is I have some DMC metallic thread. I don't have the gold Krynek color that it calls for. And I've been doing the gold stuff. Here's the other two that I finished. The other two. So I've been doing the gold in the gold DMC alternative that's suggested in the pattern, rather than the Krynek metallic that's called for, Krynek blending filament or whatever it is. But so I have some DMC gold metallic, and I might put that in just in places like for the strings. And there's like one other design where the angel is playing a lute, and the strings are supposed to be, long stitches in gold. And I might do those with the gold metallic. Hush, baby, hush. The gold metallic instead of with the gold DMC. But I haven't decided for sure yet. But anyway, so all that's left in this design is the gold in her gown, and her halo, and her harp, and that's all gold. So yeah, so this angel is coming along. Did a lot of work on that, and then I spun my decision roulette wheel again, and the control issues for my nephew. This one, nope. There's a cat being naughty. Hold on a second, please. Sorry about that. My cat was being naughty, and he's doing it again. So I have to put this over here, away from the cat. Okay, so this control issues with the game controller thing. I don't want to flash that too much because I don't really have a picture of it. I just have the pattern. But so I made some progress. It looks like great boobies. This is the top of the controller, so I'm working on it. Yeah, the stork needle minder, little stork scissors needle minder. But so this is coming along. This is the I have control issues, game control, and I'm stitching this in hand because I had it in a hoop at first, but it's it's very stiff Aida, and so I'm just rolling it up and stitching it in hand. And then after that, I decided to work on the Needle Bling Designs Christmas Eve ride. And if you remember, I had finished the deer and I had done Santa in his sleigh, except I had not done the sleigh runners or this their reins across for the deer. And so I worked on some of the black. So Santa's finished over here in his little sleigh. I put the runners on his sleigh and the reins on the deer, except one of these, this deer right here, I forgot his nose, so I had to go back and do that. And above them I did this on Christmas Eve too. I did this with I had some pieces of because I decided not to carry between the words over this space here and over this space here, because it's kind of a long distance and because it's black also, because I did carry the white for the little drops of snow, but not for I decided not to do it for the black. So then I came over here and started search. This is the beginning of the A. May you never be too old to search the skies on Christmas Eve. But the reindeer and their little collars and the reins are done and their noses, except for this little noseless guy. And they're all done. And then, of course, the words and the little holly berries that go on the ends there. And then I have to finish the town. I have to do one more house and... no, 2 houses and 1 more tree, and of course all the green leaves of the tree. And this house is done, but these, the church and this house just needs yellow, all the windows. And the church house, there's a cross on the top and something across here, and then I think the windows are done in black. And the door, I think, is brown. But then one house, there's 1 yellow house and 1 green house. And then 1 more tree that's missing right here. But otherwise, it's coming along very nicely. It's almost finished. Shouldn't take too much to finish that one. And then... I worked on, this is the one I took to the retreat with me. It was a Bible study retreat that I went on, and I didn't have a whole lot of time, but I did have some downtime the Friday night when we got there, and then Saturday night we watched the movie Hidden Figures. It was just at the end. We were talking about running the race set before you and that sort of thing. And but anyway, one of the things we did was stand up for your sister thing. Everybody's faced something. But anyway, so we watched Hidden Figures. That was just part of the recreational things, but it was on theme also. So anyway, so we watched Hidden Figures. So during that movie, there was a light on behind me, like 1 light in one area, but I used my handy dandy little beam and read light. Boop. I had to be careful with the aiming, because at one point it was fine, I think, at first, and then at one point I had turned around and I had gotten stuff, and it was the light was kind of in somebody's eyes up there, so I had to readjust it a little bit so that I could stitch and not. I had to be a little more furtive as I was stitching, especially like Friday night too. I was like in my bunk in the corner. I had a corner little bed, and I was in there in the dark, kind of, trying to lie in the bed and stitch, and with that little light, and not keep my sister and my two other roommates awake, you know, because I didn't want to go like in the common room. There was a little common room between our cabin and this other cabins that were in that other rooms of women that were in that building. There was a little common room, but I didn't want to go sit up in the common room and, you know, take all my stuff out there and stitch and all that. So, you know, and I just wanted to stitch a little bit in bed and then go, you know, go to bed. And so yeah, I was there with my light, you know, stitching in the dark. And the same thing during the movie, because I've seen that movie several times, and it's still a really good movie. But I, you know, worked on my stitching while I was there. So anyway, so what I was able to do is I did, you know, and lots of women came, because there was some other time I was working on it during free time. You know, we had, while I was waiting for one of the meals that we went in, I don't know if it was breakfast or lunch or something, but I had it with me there, and I worked on it then. And I worked on it, you know, other times. There was a little team building activity that were several women were line dancing, you know, and it was kind of fun. And they were doing. I wasn't doing it, and because, you know, a lot of what they're doing, I just really can't do it. I can't stand on one foot, and so all the shuffling around and all that stuff, excuse me, would have been difficult for me. So while they were doing that, I was stitching, and so a lot of women were coming up. Oh, what are you working on? What are you doing? What are you know? And it was a lot of fun. So anyway, so I worked on these are the eyes and the smile and the little rosy cheeks of the snowman, and I put in the nose and mouth and eyes of the bunny, and I worked. I don't know if I had done this before. This is the part of the snowman's scarf, this top part, and I worked on a little bit here. There's like a line of the scarf that comes out here, and then this line that comes out here. And then I worked on the bottom. You really can't tell too much, but I did about 3 lines of this. Part of it I did the first night I was there when I was in the dark, because it was easy to do I wasn't completely in the dark, but you know what I mean, with just a little bit of light, just that specific light that I had, that purple light I have. So I was able to do like a line there, and I did a couple lines more until I finished the thread. And rather than cut a new piece of thread, because I had cut a length of it, and so I did all 6 lengths eventually. So when I got to the end of this bit of thread is when I started working on the scarf. So yeah, so it still has a long way to go. It is, again, the world's largest snowman. So there's just lots and lots and lots of, all of that blank area is snowman, one way or another. This is, I showed you the Teresa Kogut, Hold Closely the Ones You Love. This is an internet freebie, so I have no Flosstube freebie. So I have no qualms about showing the pattern. I went in and printed it again off my computer, because the one I have is like really ratty looking. So then, cat, I even know what he's attacking. So the other thing, I thought I would have a new start on this by now, but it's delayed a little bit because I sort of looked at the pattern. I finally did get that Andorian. I talked to my sister, and I'm just going to show this. Oh, there he is. My sister was looking at some patterns, and so this is the one that she came up with. You know, she referenced some others, but she drew this one herself. And so it's very cute. But I was originally going to do it on black cloth, but because his little suit, his body is in black, I thought, well, I could like just choose a lighter gray color that would show up better, you know, that would show up on the black material. But I think what I'm going to do instead is I have a big piece of Ada cloth that I got off the freebie table at Stitch Shenanigans, and I've used some of it, I think, for something once. But I think I'll cut a piece that's big enough for this Andorian, because what I wanted was kind of a small design, so it's only going to be about 3 by 4 inches or something like that, or 4 by 6 or something. It's very small, and so the fabric, I use the cross stitch calculator thing, and so the I can't remember the size of the stitched area, but the piece of material is only like 7 by 9 or something like that. So so I have, like I said, I have plenty of Ada, and I think that's what I'm going to use. And then I'm just going to dye it gray and maybe some other colors, thrown in there to make it kind of a fun background, but then to do the Andorian on. So I haven't started it yet, but I plan to now that I have the design. My sister drew the design, and so my sister Eve. So then I can get started on it. Hopefully, maybe this coming week. But so I think that's it. That's all I've got going on. I did 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I did 4 things. So that's pretty good. In between, getting ready and going on this retreat. So so like I said, hopefully I'll get that fabric dyed for the Andorian, and what I'm going to have to do is like look at the floss colors and see what color I want to use on the for the background for the cloth, and see how I don't want to make it too dark because of the little black uniform, whatever costume thing that the Andorian is wearing. So I want it to be on light enough fabric that that'll show up well, and that I won't go blind trying to stitch it, because as it is, his little uniform thing is outlined in lighter color, like white or gray or whatever, and that would be fine, except that I have to stitch it first before I can outline it, and that'll end up it would end up being basically impossible against black fabric. There's a cat knocking everything down over here. But anyway, so I probably will dye a piece of fabric for the Andorian and just do something, kind of fun with it, so that he shows up better. Anyway, this is a very short video, but it's, like I said, it's Sunday night, and I'm very tired from this little retreat thing that we went on. It was a lot of walking, just for me, a lot of walking, but it was nice and pleasantly cool up there, so we had a nice time, a good retreat. Anyway, so I think that's it. I'm going to be stitching away all this week. I have a shadow across my face. I think that's yeah, all I wanted to talk about today. So anyway, I will see you all on Saturday. And if you're new here, there's a little subscribe button. If you'd like to, you can subscribe to my channel. And there's a little bell there also that you can click on. That'll so you'll receive notifications when I post a new video. And I usually try to do them every Saturday morning. Today being the exception. And there's a cat messing with my stuff. So I think that's it. So once again, I don't know if I said this at the beginning. Yeah, I think I did. I don't remember. I'm Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches, and this is update number 83. I think I said that. So I will see you next time. Bye.